What's going on, y'all? How you doing? Uh, I wanted to do this while it was fresh on my mind. It's a little after midnight. Uh, the things going on. This one here is pretty important. The other video that I put out on TikTok. Now, this stuff is just starting to come out. This is one of the deals like I was wanting to kind of get to everybody's attention. Trump put everything in motion day one of his presidency to literally throw a wrench in the works for what's going on. Now, if you know anything, I've mentioned this many times on my other ones. I've got like 300 videos now. But on other ones, that there's a thing called a basket of currencies. And this is what they call exotic currencies or foreign currencies. Currencies is just other countries' money. Uh, George Soros, he made $1 billion in about 12, 18 hours for his hedge fund place. And what he was doing is betting on somebody's money to drop in value so where he can make a lot of money later on when it comes back on the world market. Okay, the WTO, the World Trade Organization, pretty much every country is a member of it that has big trade. Okay, China, America, Germany, just people that make things. Well, Iraq is a very, very big catalyst in this whole thing. I know about that because I've got a little thing going on with some other people and stuff. So, but it's not just Iraq, it goes all the way down to Africa. Africa has been used and abused and abused for for many, many years. You hear about all this apartheid stuff over there. Well, that's their thing over there. I don't want to get into that, but I'm talking about the world currencies and the world market that is literally being redrawn. At the end of the Civil War, even though in the Revolutionary War we had rid ourselves of England, kinda, but at the end of the Civil War, we still needed a lot of money to get things moving again. Well, the only ones that had the money to actually do anything like that was Britain. Well, this thing has been culminating here for a little bit. I'm finding out little bit by little bit by little bit, more and more all the time. I'm finding out the details in it. Well, Britain pretty much put the U.S. under her wings, so to speak, and made the U.S. like a corporation. Well, that in itself is what we're seeing that's being dismantled and it's dying. But they are still fighting tooth and nail to try to put whoever they can in a strategic place to keep it alive. I just seen a deal of what to where a certain amount of Republicans are getting behind Nikki Haley now. There's good news. Well, it's because she's just a warmongering globalist. I've literally heard her myself when they talked about the pipeline that they bombed over there by Russia. Nikki Haley herself said why they don't want people buying petroleum and gas from Russia. They want people buying American and other European countries' gas. That right there is a declaration of war. When you mess with another country's resources, that's all they're doing. That's all that is done. Russia and Ukraine has all been employed to try to push World War III. Putin knew what was going on. He didn't bite. Well, now Biden is wanting Zelensky to give up 20% of Ukraine. Now everything went to Israel, the Middle East. There's where the whole thing culminates, okay? Everybody talks about Babylon. Babylon is over in the Middle East, not here in the U.S. Well, Trump is getting the U.S. off of our uh, our old way of doing things. Everything that the elitists, the Illuminati, the cabal, call it whatever you want, everything they put into place, it's being dismantled. I know because the thing with the basket of currencies, Iraq and Iran have been slated to re well, they talk about revaluate in or RI, which is a reinstatement of the Iraqi dinar and the Iran, whatever it is. I don't really remember what it's called. But if you go back and look with Kuwait and how they were done in their money, there is, let me back up a little bit. Kuwait, when they kicked Saddam out of Kuwait, Kuwait had a value of $3 and something for their dinar, the Kuwaiti dinar. The Iraqi dinar was $3 and 20 something cents under Saddam Hussein. Well, these basket of currencies, which is a lot of the reinstatement and revaluation, is what they call it. You can look into the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnamese dong, the Zimbabwe dollar. There are other uh, countries that their money is about to be reinstated or revalued because of everyone getting away from the Rothschild Bank. That's what it has to do. The Rothschild banks have all the power over all of them because they have the money that they bail the banks and the governments out. Now, the people that have the big money that do personal loans to people, well, they found out that they can make more money loaning their money to the government because they'll make more in the long run. They'll get paid back more, and that wields a lot of power for them. That's how we got to the point to where we are now. Trump went in there, and the deal is because you think of all the zeros that it is for our deficit and everything, our whole economy. Not very many people could understand that thing without a big badass calculator. You know what I mean? Well, I bet your ass Trump could sit there and figure out a multi-billion dollar, multi-million dollar deal, whatever, and hit it down to the dollar. Yeah. So Trump knows what's going on. He knew how to put things in order. I've been telling folks for a long time, look, the biggest thing is Trump understands our government, our market, our economy, the whole 9 yards, way more than any flipping politician. Trump is a world chess champion, for piss sakes, man. People are just, they want to get on him and they just want to talk up a bunch of shit and they don't know what they're talking about. That's something else too I want to tell y'all. I apologize. I've been a little loose with my language and I've just been a little or a lot angry, at all the things that I know and more that's coming out. Nothing's really being done, but I know that things are being done because of just the way things have happened. You're not seeing a lot of the politicians that were out so much before. You know what I mean? You don't see Obama much anymore. Oprah and all them, a lot of the elites, our politicians, the old ones from Obama's cabinet, Valerie Jarrett and all them, Chuck Schumer, he's still around, bouncing in and out. Pelosi, you ain't heard hardly hide nor hair from her or her husband and that other guy and all that. Man, there's so many things. I'm hearing places to check out for the Guantanamo Bay, things that have happened out there. Duck, duck, go. Okay. Another thing that I watched that he doesn't really know who's on the planes, but he tells you about flights going from DC to Guantanamo Bay, and that's Monkey Works, US on YouTube. Monkey, WERX. Got a lot of information. He was a B-50. He was on a B-52, and he was a comms guy, from what I understand. He's another one that I get information from. So everything has to do with the world market, and war is one of the biggest money makers and everything for them. It's not because of the weapons, selling any weapons and controlling the conflict. It's none of that. It's the debt that the war creates. Because everything that's destroyed, they need money to build it back. Well, that's where all them big multi-million, billion-dollar contracts and all that kind of crap come from. And that's how the elites get control, because they'll feed money into the conflict, cause the conflict, and then jump in there like they're the saviors and then building everything back up. And then they charge them up to, for years and years, generation after generation. That's how they do it. And it all has to do with money. Trump has been in there and threw a big wrench in the works from day one. And that's the reason why, even from his first day of presidency, he hasn't even gotten sworn in yet. And those assholes were already drawing up impeachment for him. Yeah. So he knows more about what's going on. Like I said, our banking system, everything. He has very, very good relationships with people around the world. If you've never seen that deal to where he went to Saudi Arabia They're all dancing around with their swords. They give Trump the sword. Only the lions get the sword. Yeah. None of our other politicians have ever gotten the sword. Yeah. So they know how Trump is. They know what Trump is capable of. They know what Trump is going to do when he gets back in there. And he will be back in there. So that's kind of a little bit about what's going on. Look into it yourself about those currencies. Do what you can. If you can buy some, buy some. But only buy it from your bank. Do not buy them off of Etsy, eBay, any freaking thing like that. And do not give them to anybody. There's going to be people talking about, oh, you can get in a group and all this. No, 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 no. Do not do that. Do not do that. You hold on to them. Like I said, you go to your bank, you get them, and then you hold on to them. You take them, don't put them in a safety deposit box or anything like that. If you have some way to put them in a little safe, you know, a very, very airtight container and bury them bastards or whatever because things are happening. That's why things are getting more and more crazy because there is billions and billions and billions of dollars on the line. Old alliances are being broke, new alliances are being made right now as we speak. Like I said, the banks over in China, there's several big ones that folded. And now that the U.S. banks are tied up in the financials of it, the U.S. banks are not going to fare too well either. So if you have any money in the bank, safety deposit, all that kind of shit, get it out. With the Federal Reserve and them being FDIC insured, all the government has to do is tell the bank to close their door, and that's it. Nobody gets anything out. They already did it in China. People that had savings accounts, regular banking accounts, they were out front of the bank, and the bank just had a loudspeaker telling the people that if you had any money whatsoever in that bank, it is now the property of the CCP. Yeah. The American banks are no different, y'all. Okay? I hope this helps. And I hope that you're able to get in on something, learn a little bit more about it. Okay? Learn a little bit more about it. But it ain't over by a long shot, y'all. It ain't over by a long shot. And it all has to do with how, oh, and that deal about everything with the Rothschild Bank after the end of the Civil War, from what I understood and what I've been told, that contract came to an end in 2023. See what I mean? So it's funny to me how things were just working out, and then Trump got in there, did some things, and then he was out, and then Biden was in, and he's, taking everything down. But it seems like that it's a movie we're watching, but it all has to happen because it's for a reason. So that's about all I can tell you right now. But I'm thinking that, you've got a chance to still check into it, see what you can get, see what you can do for yourself. So, yeah. But that's some more stuff that I was thinking about and figuring out how to put it and tell you about it. And it was just fresh on my mind. So I hope that helps y'all, man. Check it out, okay? Trump put it in line. He did. So God bless the United States of America. Screw you commies, you know the drill. Excuse me. Man. Good night. Later.